think this will be hopefully cathartic for both of us.
Uh-oh. It
So
feels like we're very cathartic today.
yeah. So you mentioned it in the open. So my daughter's getting married on
Mm-hmm.
Saturday of this. So tomorrow,
Yep.
as this drops, 2 days later, my youngest moves to Colorado Springs. We just purchased a company, and so we're putting sort of
Mm-hmm.
that together, and building a house and all that stuff. So I say all this to say, well, high stress in the Kirby's verse. And
Yep.
so I know that you are living through some additional stress with the promocations, which is super exciting.
Yep.
And obviously Brandivate and, life
Mm-hmm.
and kids moving off and all that stuff. So
Sure.
high stress. So I'm looking for tips to de-stress.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought maybe I could give you a couple, you could give me a couple, and then obviously the
Yeah.
audience can jump in and if they have any
Oh yeah.
ideas.
There are never enough good ideas for how to relieve stress. So you put me on the spot, but I'm
No,
gonna
and I can
just
go
go
first
top
if
of
you
mind
want.
if that's okay.
Yeah.
No, let's
Yeah.
go stream of Bill consciousness and see what kind of trouble I can get into.
Okay, I love it.
Number one stress reliever for me, and this is gonna sound weird, but it's really serving others. I could talk about
Love
cooking,
that.
which I love to do. I could talk about making people cool, fun drinks, which I love to do. I could talk about, things like that, but it all really encompasses doing something that's completely for other people.
I love that.
So at the end of the day, I have a busy day at work. Sandy has a busy day at work, but a lot of the times I cook and I clean up. I don't mind
Yeah.
because that's a stress reliever for me. I get to focus on something completely in a service way. So that's number one for me. It just kind of gets me out of whatever I'm thinking about.
Okay.
Number two, step away. When
Mhm.
I'm feeling stressed in the middle of the day, I know that I will accomplish what I need to accomplish. So walking away for a half hour, 20 minutes, an hour to watch something on TV, to take a walk around the block, to go lay in my hammock in the backyard, just to walk away, get away from computers, get away from screens.
Mhm.
It refreshes me, it renews me, and I find that that's a big stress reliever. And I'd say number 3 for me is music.
Mhm.
When the I this is the way I have music on a lot when I'm working, and a lot of times I don't. If I'm really trying to write something, I can't have a lot of input. That's just not how I work.
Right.
But if I'm answering emails or doing something from a graphic design perspective, I have a lot of music on. And the more stressed I am, the more aggressive I want the music. So if I'm really
Mhm.
stressed out, I want Metallica, I want Tremonti, I want Motley Crue, I want some really hard, heavy Van Halen, and it's loud. There's no one in the house. I just can just completely blast it out, and that helps me in a weird way too. So those are the 3 ways that come top of mind to me. I know there's others. Let's hear
Yeah.
some of yours, Kirby.
Cool. Yeah. And again, audience participation, please feel free to let us know
Mm-hmm.
yours. For me, number one is exercise. I
Yep.
find that it helps my brain, helps me deal with stress. And exercise, you kind of alluded to it, might be walk around the block in the middle of the day. Part of my morning routine is really just take some steps in the morning, get my head space clear. So any
Right.
kind of exercise really helps me. Um, the thing that this is going to be weird, but future planning. I think that what I mean by that is I
Mm-hmm.
think like so many times we spend so much time in the weeds and that's where we get stressed out by it. But for me
Mm-hmm.
to spend some time and intentionally create my life 6 months to a year from now, I that
Mm-hmm.
gets me excited rather than stressed. So that's that.
Yeah.
And then the third one is one I struggle with, and that's meditation. I find that it's
Yeah.
like when
Me
I'm
too.
not doing that as a part of my morning routine, that's that's when the stress builds. And ironically, it's also when I'm like, well, I don't have time to do that. I've got to get too many things done, so I don't take time to
Right.
do the thing that will help me. When I can
Do the
de-stress, I
things.
think more creatively and all that stuff. So those are my three:
Yeah.
exercise, future planning, and meditation. So those are mine.
I'm I'm gonna add one more for me that works.
Yeah.
The thing I know best is brand evade. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I'm feeling really stressed, lost, maybe sometimes that stress leads to like I've got 3 things to do. I don't know where to go, and I'm kind of bouncing around here and there. I will focus on my own marketing. So we've been doing this
I like that.
campaign at Brandivate. Things we're not good at. It's something I find funny. You
Yeah.
wouldn't want us to craft a brew of beer because it'd be terrible, but we're good at marketing and branding. And coming up with the graphics for that and the things for that, it's such a stress reliever for me because I know it. I know it
Yeah.
intuitively. I don't have to really think about it. And I just kind of, it's almost like I turn my brain off so that whatever creativity does live up in this melon comes right out.
Yeah.
I do find that to be kind of a stress reliever too,
Yeah.
and I do the same thing for promocations as we're thinking about. Josh and I are thinking about what contests to run and things like that. So
Yeah.
that does help me too, believe it or not. And so it's kind of a double kill two birds with one stone. I feel like my creativity flows better, but I'm really just kind of letting it flow as opposed to trying to force it.
Yeah, and I think, getting like taking action by getting things out of your head and just
Yep.
doing the next right thing often. Like a lot of times for me, it's like that stress comes in the middle of the night. And I had a really person who worked for me said something really wise one time, and she said that everything's always darker at night. And obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh, that's actually really, because it's like something that I can't sleep. I'm so stressed about, and then I wake up in the morning, take action. I'm like, oh, this wasn't that big a deal. I just need to do something about it.
Yeah. Another thing I think that helps me stress wise is how I plan my weeks. I
Mm,
intentionally have the majority of my meetings Mondays and Tuesdays. So I get into the week and it's heavily front loaded.
yeah. Okay.
But that's when I'm at my freshest. I just got off the weekend. I'm
Mm,
ready to go. I'm alert, I'm attentive, I'm engaged. And then at the end of the week is where I really try to focus on if I have meetings, great, that's fine. But I really try to have that's the time where I'm my creative stuff, the graphic design and things like that, where I'm kind of like ready for the weekend, but I've got a lot of work to do. So I intentionally craft my weeks so I'm hopefully at my best in both areas at the
mhm.
right times.
That's cool.
So I have these days that I look forward to. It's like I have no meetings today. I've got work to do, but
Mhm.
I've got no meetings today.
Yeah, no, I like that. Well, cool. Well, like I said, I would
All
love to
right.
hear any other stress relieving that isn't, like
Me too.
beer, beer and sitting by the fire. That's what I've been doing a little bit more of. And so any
Well,
suggestions are
that's
welcome.
my weekend stress reliever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Well,
that's my weekend stress reliever.